Hello everyone and welcome to Sunday. Today was trade-in day. Mao and I have been going through all of those games. I know I filmed some of it yesterday. And we did that not only to organize the Wii collection, but also to figure out what duplicates we had. It was interesting because in the process I actually found, I think, 4 games that we had that I didn't even have on the list. So I haven't done a great job of documenting it, I guess, but everything's better now. So everything's caught up on the list. We had a fair bit of trade-in stuff, actually, just from getting duplicates. Even in like one of the last mail videos, like we got like 3 copies of Luxor 3, which is a really weird situation because the Wii library is huge, so the odds of getting 3 of the same game in the same mail video is weird. But anyway, so we brought some stuff over to trade in, and I've been going through like all of the Wii and the Wii U stuff, and we have a surprising amount of Wii stuff. There was actually very little Wii to pick up. Got a few Wii U titles, and then 2 more GameCube games, because even though we finished the library, I'm still here and there picking up the Player's Choice variants because we're crazy. And then also, there's like a few like manuals here and there that we haven't finished. So the GameCube collection's not like 100% complete, but we have all the physical games. It's actually interesting because whenever I was going for GameCube, Player's Choice couldn't keep GameCube games in because I was always clearing them out. And actually, the GameCube section now is like super healthy. In fact, there's a lot of really good games, a lot of really rare games. Like they have Eternal Darkness is here, Digimon World 4. Both of those are really hard to come by. They've got some of the big first-party titles: Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin, the Zelda double disc set, Sunshine, Melee. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect. Future Perfect's really hard to find. Trigger Man, also very hard to find. So like, if you're in the area, you should come to Player's Choice, because there's an insane amount of good GameCube stuff here, and I don't need it because I already have it. I'm still working on Wii and Wii U, but it's a process. It's gonna take a while.
Doggone it! I knew I'd forget. We hit 1,000 miles on the car. That's exciting. I wanted to show it rolling over, but when I looked down while we were driving, it was 1,001, and I was like, oh crap, that's right, I forgot. Whatever.
I gotta admit, I never expected that we would put 1,000 miles on the car this quickly. Our average mileage in a week is probably like 100. Maybe 100 miles a week at most, to, go get groceries twice a week, go to Lunch Bunch, maybe go to a store here and there. We probably do about 100 miles. So hitting 1,000 in less than a month is a surprise. And obviously, as I talked about the other day, I understand why, and the circumstances surrounding that are awful, but nonetheless, we have hit 1,000 miles. And from this point forward, with the amount of traveling that we'll probably be doing in the immediate future, we probably won't put anywhere near that much on there. Because with the exception of trips, we really don't travel a whole lot in the car. We don't live in a walking city, so we can't walk, we can't bike, anything like that here. You have to have a car, but, the amount of driving that we're doing is pretty minimal, all things considered. But yeah, in less than a month already at 1,000 miles. And speaking of, it is hard to believe, but it's March. And since it's March, shout out to our Patreon producers. Their names are scrolling along the bottom of the screen now. If you're watching and you'd like to learn more about Patreon, how you can support Mal and myself, and the perks that come along with that, there is always a link in the description of all the videos. And it's at the end screen too. I think so. And I try to put things up here too on the first of the month. But thank you to all of our patrons. We appreciate the support. It's weird that it's March. It's weird for a number of reasons. It's weird because we haven't had the car. We've had the car less than a month, and it feels like we've had the car forever. And it just goes back to the fact that, seriously, last week felt like multiple months, multiple years. Like, it's crazy how last week skewed my perception of time in a way that I really actually didn't think was possible. Like, it's not, I want people to understand when I say that, like, it screwed with my perception of time, that I mean that. I don't mean it like, oh, it's a saying. I mean, like, it really did. Like, it really feels like forever. And that's been weird. But the bright side is, the car has been great, and I'm still adjusting to it a little bit, but, I've had a chance to drive it for these 1,000 miles, and, I like it. And actually, one of the weird things is that Mao hasn't driven the car yet. And I mean, for what it's worth, she doesn't do a whole lot of driving. She's a good driver. It's just like, even when I had the Escape, I did most of the driving because I love driving. And if she doesn't have to drive, she's going to elect not to. But there would be occasions where I just, if I wasn't feeling good or if I hadn't slept enough or whatever, she would drive. And at some point soon, she needs to actually, drive this car to get a feel for it, just in case there's something does happen and she's forced to drive it. She wouldn't really struggle with it, I'm sure, because, like, again, she's a good driver. But I know she actually is going to need to drive it at some point. But she's had a lot of fun just sitting in the passenger seat, and we have thoroughly enjoyed the car. So, silver linings. Speaking of silver linings, these are all sorted. Hallelujah. We are, I think I said it yesterday, but we're over 700, and we have just a little over 500 left to go. Wii U's actually coming along quite well, too. This is a third of the entire physical Wii U library. Seriously. There's only like 100 or is it more than a third? I think it's more than a third. There's 160 games-ish, like 160, 170 Wii U physical games. And I think we have like 60. So we're missing like 100 and that's it. So yeah, that's like more than a third of the entire, all the games that were ever released for the Wii U. And I saw a comment the other day that was asking about the fact that we still had GameCube up. And I only boxed up GameCube as much as I needed to, basically. If I didn't have to box up any additional, I didn't. So that's why it basically, everything through L is boxed up. But I didn't box up anything more because I just don't have to yet. But that's going to be coming soon because you can see when Mao put all the stuff on the shelf, she left like little spaces on each shelf so we can put more in there. But eventually this is all going to get filled up. And, as we continue to push forward, this is all going to have to go. So we'll eventually be boxing all of this up too. We're not to that point quite yet. And, as far as like how long we have until then, I don't know. We're trying to finish Wii by October, and we're at a really good pace. We also have some mail that we haven't opened, so I don't know what's in there. But so far, so good. So far, so good. I know at some point, and this kind of ties back into the car thing, at some point this year we'll be taking some sort of road trip. Probably not a major road trip like we did 2 years ago, because that was like a 3-week-long thing to Maine and back, and not doing that again. But just kind of like a short thing, a week or less, where we maybe go down to Florida and hit up some game stores in that direction to try and bolster the numbers of the Wii library. But yeah, when you when you say it like, oh, we have, you know, more than half of the Wii library, it's like, oh, that's good. But whenever you say, we are missing 500 games, it's just however you want to perceive that data. It's the same data, but the way that you say it matters. And there's a lot left to go, but we're picking stuff up as we can, and we know you guys are continuing to send in games that we don't have, and we appreciate it, because trying to collect a library this big and trying to do it this quickly it's a group effort, and we appreciate all the support you guys have given us so far. On that note, I've also seen a few other comments asking about mail, and we have not opened the mail from January yet. You know, pretty soon it'll be time to open the mail from February as well. But we're going to be trying to get to that as soon as possible. You know, it's just balancing things in general is already difficult, and then with all the stuff that happened last week, things are just moving a little more slowly around here than they would normally. But I don't have to ask you guys to understand, because I know you understand. So thanks for that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Cleaning up all the games helped a lot. This room is still a mess. Guess I'm going to have to get to that at some point in the future, but that won't be today, I guess. Soon. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?